For months, Liam Foster thought he had found nothing more than an online gaming friend. Night after night, he logged into the same survival game and teamed up with a player known as Shadowhunter89. The stranger was friendly, skilled, and always seemed available when Liam wanted to play. Yet there was something unusual about him. He never joined voice chat, never shared photos, and never revealed details about his personal life. Every conversation seemed carefully controlled, as if he was constantly hiding something. At first, Liam dismissed it as ordinary internet privacy. But what began as a harmless friendship would eventually lead him into a disturbing mystery connected to a man who had spent years running from the authorities. As the months passed, Shadowhunter89's behavior became increasingly strange. He would disappear without warning for days at a time and return acting nervous and distracted. One night, he accidentally sent Liam a screenshot that revealed part of a private messaging application. Several conversations appeared in the background, but instead of names, each contact was labeled only with numbers. Before Liam could ask questions, the image was deleted. Soon afterward, the stranger began asking unsettling questions about whether gaming companies could track users and whether law enforcement could gain access to account information. The questions seemed oddly specific, and for the first time, Liam felt genuine unease creeping into a friendship he had once considered normal. Everything changed one rainy evening when Liam came across a news article while scrolling through social media. The report focused on Daniel Mercer, a fugitive who had disappeared years earlier after being accused of orchestrating a massive financial fraud operation. Authorities had searched for him across the country without success. As Liam read further, one detail caught his attention. According to investigators, Daniel had been deeply involved in online gaming communities before vanishing. The similarity immediately reminded Liam of Shadowhunter89. The idea seemed absurd, yet the connection lingered in his mind. The stranger's secrecy, his fear of being tracked, and his unusual behavior suddenly felt far more suspicious than before. Unable to ignore his instincts, Liam began examining old gaming records and account information. During his search, he discovered that Shadowhunter89 had once forgotten to hide a linked profile connected to an older username. Curious, Liam followed the trail. Most of what he found seemed harmless, but buried within years-old forum posts were discussions filled with advanced financial terminology and investment strategies. The writing sounded remarkably professional. Liam remembered Daniel Mercer's background in finance, and an uncomfortable feeling settled over him. The evidence was circumstantial, but each small discovery seemed to point in the same direction. The possibility that his online friend was hiding a dangerous secret no longer felt impossible. Several days later, the mystery deepened when Shadowhunter89 unexpectedly requested a voice chat. It was the first time Liam had ever heard him speak. The voice sounded older than expected, carrying a nervous edge that seemed impossible to hide. During the conversation, Liam casually mentioned the recent news story about Daniel Mercer. The reaction was immediate. Silence filled the call. Seconds stretched into what felt like an eternity. When the stranger finally responded, his voice had changed completely. The friendliness was gone, replaced by something colder and more cautious. He demanded to know where Liam had heard the name and whether anyone else had discussed it with him. Moments later, the call ended abruptly, and the account disappeared offline. The encounter left Liam deeply unsettled. After a sleepless night, he decided to report his suspicions through an anonymous crime tip service. He explained everything he had observed over the past several months, including the linked accounts, the strange questions, and the alarming reaction during the voice call. He expected nothing to come from it. Weeks passed without any news. Then investigators contacted him, requesting additional information. To Liam's surprise, several details he provided aligned with evidence authorities had already collected. They had long suspected the fugitive remained active online but had struggled to identify the correct digital trail. Liam shared everything he had saved, never imagining how important those small details would become. Months later, the story exploded across national headlines. Authorities announced the arrest of Daniel Mercer at a remote property where he had been hiding for years. Investigators revealed that the breakthrough came from digital evidence connected to an online gaming account. Despite avoiding banks, Changing locations frequently and living under false identities, Daniel had continued participating in gaming communities. Over time, tiny fragments of information accumulated into a trail investigators could finally follow. Watching the news unfold, Liam felt both relieved and disturbed. A person he had spent countless hours talking to had not been the friend he imagined. Instead, he had unknowingly been communicating with one of the country's most wanted fugitives. Even after the arrest, one final detail continued to haunt Liam. The gaming account remained visible on his friends list, frozen in time since the day before Daniel's capture. One evening, while scrolling through old conversations, Liam discovered a message he had somehow missed. The timestamp matched the final hours before authorities surrounded the hideout. The message contained only a single sentence: "I always wondered who would figure it out." Investigators later confirmed that Daniel still had access to his devices until moments before his arrest. The realization sent a chill through Liam. Somewhere during those final hours, the fugitive had understood exactly how he had been found. Years later, Liam still remembers that message. Not because it was threatening, but because it revealed something terrifying. The stranger had been hiding in plain sight the entire time, blending seamlessly into ordinary life while everyone around him remained unaware.